So, Dr. Roy, it's a tough act to follow you, but I hope I can do justice to the subject that I am going to be covering. So basically, I am going to be covering a subject which is actually the need of the hour today, and that is a collaboration between the big techs and the your fintechs. So if you were to look at the entire space, and that is how the fintechs are covered today. You have bank-led fintechs, okay, which have come up over the last few years because there was a gap that the banks felt in servicing clients digitally. Right, so you have most of the banks today looking at a space where they want to reach out to their clients and to be able to reach out to them faster. So the best way to do that would be through the digital channels, right? But then you have the fintechs who fill in a gap where the banks are not able to fill in those gaps. And the reason for that is the banks have the traditional banking norms that they have to follow because of a regulator which is called the RBI. And RBI ensures that there are enough regulations that the banks are saddled with regular audits, monthly audits, weekly audits, surprise audits, that they cannot innovate as much as they would want to. So you have something which is a fintech which comes up, right? Then you have the unicorns and the soonicorns. Unicorns are the ones who have already reached the 1 billion market cap. Soonicorns are the ones who are going to reach there very soon, right? Some of the unicorns, when they reach that space, they think they've arrived in life, start taking wrong decisions and disappear. Example would be Byju's, right? Because you had the valuation of 20 billion that the company reached. Company wanted to over-expand, over-leverage without looking at core products, and the company ultimately paid the price for it. You also have the fintech giants. You have the PhonePays of the world today that you can look up to. They are the giants. You have Amazon, which is also a fintech. But if you look at Amazon today, there is a problem that Amazon faces in India, and that is Amazon Pay. They are not able to compete with a PhonePay or a Google Pay because it is not an omni-channel. It is a platform which is embedded within the core app, which is Amazon. And that's the reason why they're not able to expand as much, right? And then you have the big techs, the likes of Dell, the likes of Microsoft, who have platforms on which the fintechs ride, right? Now, all of these have examples, and you have to understand where the fintechs come about, what are the challenges that they face. The biggest challenge that a fintech faces today is cash. Right? And to survive in the market, Sir spoke about Zepto, you spoke about Blinkit. There is also a company called Dunzo, right? And the reason Dunzo, even after receiving a funding of 420 million from Reliance, is not able to take it forward, is because there is a huge cash burn that happens with a fintech, right? Even a PhonePay or a Google Pay, they control 80% of the entire UPI ecosystem. You had a Paytm which was competing with them till some time back, until about a year back when RBI came down very heavily on them, and they had to scale back operations and recalibrate. The reason for that was very simple. You have to burn cash to acquire customers in a country like India or a country like China, and that cash burn is so high that you need regular capital infusion to keep happening. You also need technology which supports you to acquire these customers, retain these customers, and to churn the data from these customers to take it forward, right? So, if you have a Dunzo as an example, the reason that Dunzo with a platform which was very unique in the market, which started the trend of 10-minute delivery, which was copied by a Blinkit, which was copied by a Zepto, had to scale back operations and is now concentrating only on one market. The promoter is moved to another company, is because when they were burning cash, there was nobody to guide them as to which platform would have been an easier platform for them to take forward, right? So if you look at a Blinkit today, Blinkit uses a system which is called the Microsoft Azure. What that does for them is it churns real-time data, gives them the data upfront as to how many customers have used how many of their SKUs, and they're able to stock those products more appropriately, which probably a Dunzo wasn't able to do, right? You also have a problem of regulations in this country. Now, when I mention regulations, let's take the example of a company called Chalo. Chalo is a company which specializes in digitizing your transit solutions today. And how did this come about? The promoter happened to visit BEST, which is one of the biggest, government STUs today for transit. And BEST said, we have one problem statement. They took them to a warehouse, and in the warehouse was sitting 500 crores in cash. Okay, and this was not cash which was in rupees or 10 rupees, 15 rupees. This was cash in 50 paisa and 25 paisa, right? So BSC tried a few innovative things. They decided to give the employees salary in cash. So every BST conductor or BST driver would receive a bag full of cash in coins as salary because they wanted to dispose of the salary. And obviously you had the drivers and the conductors coming back saying that there is a problem, we can't do anything with it. Then what they did is they took all that currency, and ICICI Bank did this. ICICI Bank took this currency, went to the Dadar market where people come to shop, okay, and said, you have these coins available, please use these coins, and we will be able to give you these coins at a discount. In a span of 45 days, the total cash that ICICI was able to dispense was only 10 crores. Okay, so this was a problem which was not going away. The other problem that you had with cash collection is that today when a conductor collected cash, there was obviously leakage which was happening, right? You would have customers who would give 500 rupee notes. So at the back of the ticket, the conductor would write down, please collect your cash from the nearest depot. And when the customer turned up at the depot obviously did not recognize who had written that note or whether it was genuine or not. And most times the customers did not get their money. Because of this, BST thought of an innovation. You had the government which said, okay, we have Oyster cards which are there in the UK. Let's also come up with NCMC, which is the National Common Mobility Cards. So, Chalo said this is a good opportunity. Let's work with BST and let's try and work out a solution which is digital ticketing. You would be surprised, in 1 year of operations that Chalo did with BST made, okay, and with the regular operations that they're doing, made 45% more revenue just by digitization the entire transaction, right? But there's a second challenge that they face. The propellant of the entire problem was the NCMC card, which was basically use that card to travel in the trains, to travel in metros, to travel in, via rickshaws, and to travel in the bus. But however, the regulations stated that these cards had to be minimum KYC cards, which meant that the bus conductor, when he was issuing a card to you, had to take down your basic details like your phone number, your Aadhaar card, or your PAN number to issue these cards. And which was not a solution which would work in the near term. So they had to, basically lobby with the government. It took them 2 years to do that. And then the government, there was a regulation which came out about 6 months back, which said that there was a MTS regulation, which is the multi-transit solution, which allowed you to use these cards for the purpose of only transit, okay, and they did not require KYC. It took them 2 years to do this. However, there was already a solution which the government was working with in the government of, with the government of Orissa, okay, and this was a solution that was being worked with Google, okay, which was not, a uniform policy. As a result of which 2 years were lost. Chalo had already issued 6 lakh closed-loop cards to customers, which today account to almost 40% of the transactions that happen on their channel, and they're not able to give you these NCMC cards, and they're not able to transfer you from a closed-loop solution to an open-loop solution, simply because, the regulation was not informed, and a big tech could have helped them over there. Regulation helped Cred. Cred was burning 500 crores every year, right? On a month-on-month basis, they were burning cash. You had a regulation which came in, which said that if you have a credit card payment that has to be made, please use the BBPS platform. For every transaction that happens, you make 3 rupees. From suddenly burning 500 crores a year, they are currently making 30 crores a year, 30 crores a month, just because they are able to, monetize the credit card transactions, right? The next option, the problem that the fintechs face is the risk and compliance piece of it. In India, people are able to, make solutions, make problems for solutions which are yet not created, right? So you have a government of India which has launched CBDC, which is a basic e-rupee platform that they have launched, right? It's a good solution for a problem that we don't have. But there are people who have already started using that system to, basically turn your black money into white money. And, you also have challenges in terms of regulations that come in every day. Example, Navi. Navi lost 15 crore rupees in the month of December. Okay, and this is from transactions of 1 rupee, which happened on that platform for 15 minutes. 1 rupee transactions which happened for 15 minutes on their platform. They lost 15 crore rupees because there was a glitch in the payment gateway. The payment gateway was not interacting with the platform. 15 crore rupees was lost. They had to write down this money. The case is being, they're fighting this case. They have recovered about 3 crore rupees. 12 crores is a write-off. You have fintechs which will lose a lot of money because of these glitches, which the big techs can help them bridge, right? And the advantage that big scale companies bring in today is that they have the scale, they have the customer track record available with them, they have the data infra, they have the trust. What the fintechs bring on the table is that the agility, they are innovative, right? And all of this, when they collaborate together, makes a seamless journey. I'll give you one example, I leave that at that. You have PhonePe, which is the largest player when it comes to the UPI market. PhonePe was acquired by Walmart in 2019, and when Walmart did a study of the company, that they realized PhonePe was a TPAP, which is a third-party payment aggregator, but they were also the system integrator. They were the ones who were interacting with the NPCI platform to interact and close all transactions, right? They found that as a lacuna. So what they did is they brought in Dell. And Dell helped PhonePe save about 200 crore rupees a year in frauds that were happening in the UPI market ecosystem, right? Which is the same platform which Google Pay has used and has brought in Microsoft. Microsoft is the SI which interacts. And that is the reason why they're able to interact that well. They do not have as many glitches as you would have with the other TPAPs that are there in the market. Right? So the system integrators, which are the large tech players, were able to manage that well with the fintech and take that forward. So that is the way I think that most of the industry should be moving forward. Briefly, I will also touch about what Yes Bank does. We as a fintech incubator for most of the fintechs in the industry have been doing very well. We have, PhonePe is one of our clients, and I would say that when you open your mobile phone today, out of the 10 apps that you use, 8 of them run on Yes Bank, right? And you have the Pay Nearbys of the world, you have the PhonePes of the world, all of them run on Yes Bank. Thank you so much. You've been a good audience. Thank you.
Vivek, I would request you to please stay back. And to do the felicitation, I would request Mr. Neeraj Rathi from Angel One AMC Limited. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Vivek Manchanda?